Amina, 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 guys. The biggest lies ever told. I know some of you are thinking about going to work tomorrow. The biggest lies. Maheni, uongo, the biggest lies they tell us. You go get a job. Go get a job. Get a good job. You guys, when you find a good job, when I'm here, still in these streets, I don't think there's ever going to be such a thing as a good job. Yep, we are on these streets. I turned this way because of my back, my neck. Really? I don't know, niko na arthritis of my neck. Unajikinyetie 40, sijafikisha 40. Can you imagine? Arthritis, na hujafikisha 40. How's this gonna be? What the affair? Utaendaje? How's it gonna go? Arthritis, na sijafikisha 40. Me, I just don't know. I don't know. I have arthritis of my neck. And I'm not even 40. Some of these jobs are killing us. Is your job killing you? Hey, is your job killing you? Mimi, I'm tired. You know, I just don't want to get another job. Tell me if I'm crazy that I don't want a job. I don't think there's anything, I think they lie to us. Hakuna, there is nothing like a good job. There's nothing like a good job. They're all trying to use us and then dump us once they're done with us. Your employer, it doesn't matter if you work with them for 15 years, 10 years. One day you can wake up and they'll be like, okay, I don't need you. Bye. Bye. Peace. Peace out. Amina, 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 Amina. Monday, tomorrow, guys. Roshine Monday. They would have thought of Roshine Monday. Tomorrow is Monday. Monday. I finished the online course. I gave up on going to church because some of these churches are racist. Huh? How can the church tell me to vote for Donald Trump? Me, a black woman. Se tu que candida quereses, te pasta quereses. Atire mi wabo, you are kanini. Kuna watu kubafu. Kuna watu kubafu. The pastor Muhima. I hold a pastor of a church here in Jamboree. Ananiambia, I vote for Donald Trump. Me, I stopped going to that church. What devil do they worship there? Asking me to vote for a man who hates my guts because I'm black. What kind of abomination is that? Abomination. Work of the devil. Work of the devil. How can you tell somebody to vote against their own interest as a pastor? And you tell me, lead me. You're leading me. Kodo. Kodo. Nonsense. Nonsense. Leo kuna joto. It's Fahrenheit 9/11 today. It's hot today. But I decided I'm not going to be lazy. I'm going to wash these dishes because kakazi kupile hivo. You don't wash, and then if I don't wash these dishes, they'll just keep piling. They pile. And then, you know, after 2 minutes, it's kind of like the whole kitchen looks like it hasn't been washed for a whole week. You know, it just gets, they just pile. These stupid dishes, they'll pile. So I just do it, even if I don't want to. You know, like washing dishes is really not everybody's, like, you know, go-to activity. Class, today is the worst time to go to the beach because it's hot and it's a Sunday and you can't find parking. I was in Laguna. I went for lunch in Laguna at Mozambique and my goodness, there was no parking. Hi Eric, love. Hi Eric, how's your day going? I'm here complaining and doing dishes. Talking to myself. You know. Very disappointed. I used to go to this church called Free Chapel until the election times because that pastor Jensen, he started telling us that we have to vote for Donald Trump. I'm like, shit, I'm not voting for Donald Trump. Are you kidding? You're my pastor and you're telling me to vote for somebody who hates me because I'm black? What the fuck is wrong with you? Some of these pastors, they don't even know, like, why would you tell me to do that? You know, I honestly would love to go to church, but some of these churches, I'm not going to go to those churches. Like, how do you tell me, a congregant, a black person, to go vote for somebody who's going to take my rights away from me? And you're a pastor. Like, whose team are you on? You know, some of these churches be racist. Some of these pastors are racist as hell. Let me tell you. Your pastor could be racist. The church has always been racist. the church, it can be very racist. A lot of people, they don't think it that way, but when you know, you know. When you awoke, you awoke. Huh? I dare say I am woke. Mm? I dare say I am woke. Mm? I'm writing a mental health class, and actually I don't have all my dish towels are kind of dirty, so I'm using paper towels to wipe my dishes. When you're single, you can do these kinds of things. Are you single? You want a bum bum? You want to chill with the big boys? When you're single, you can wipe your dishes with paper towel, and nobody's going to tell you anything. Nobody's going to be judging you or telling you shit because you're single. What the hell? What can they do? What the hell can they do? My dishes, my paper towel. And I can wipe my dishes with my paper towel. Well, what you gonna do? Anyway, all my cloth towels, they're kind of dirty. But I still do want to get these things off my board. I want clean surfaces, empty surfaces, because I'm a little bit OCD, just a little bit. Anyway, do you have a job? I'm trying to write a mental health class, and guys, please give me your advice, because sometimes I don't know how to word this. I have seen this trend, and I have experienced it, that jobs are really not good. When we were growing up, they used to tell us, go to school, get educated, and get a good job. And I did that because, you don't know what you don't know. And then I came to realize there are no good jobs. Hell no, you tell me. I came to realize there are no good fucking jobs. They tell you, go to school, get a good job. There are no good jobs. Shit. Jobs make you feel burned out. And I think being an entrepreneur is better, because having to depend on somebody else to give you a promotion, having to depend on somebody else to give you a raise, having to depend on somebody else, to keep you employed, is such a huge thing when you have a house, a dog, and maybe you have children. For me, like, if I don't get paid and I die because I'm hungry, it'll just be me. But if I had a dog or I had a baby, that would be a whole different case. And to be in that kind of survival mode, that I have to impress this one person, right? I have to impress, hi, nobody likes to see you. Yeah, hit the like button. Let me know what you think about this whole thing. So having a job, they told us this, like, get a good job. But I'm coming to realize, having a job and having somebody else pay your bills and having to have to impress this person and kick, and kind of like kiss their butt every time they say something mean or they're in a bad mood because they are your boss. And then there is this whole thing. They tell you, if you work hard, if you do a good job, I give you more pay, I'll give you a promotion. And so everybody is trying to make sure that they're not at the very bottom, because when you're at the very bottom, you're the person that gets shit on. You're the person who does the most work when you're at the bottom. When you're at the bottom, because it's a pyramid, right? It's a pyramid. So when you're at the bottom, you do the most work. You stay, you have the least free time, because because you maybe, yeah, if you don't really think so, just give us your ideas and what you think. But nobody's like good at quiet quitting and flying under the radar. But yeah, you can do that. You can work low key, but usually I've seen that the people at the very lowest of the company, the people at the very lowest, they're the ones who have the least amount of least amount of free time, and they get paid the least, and they do the most kind of a job. So let's, for example, look at healthcare in America, right? Let's look at healthcare. Let's look at the CNA and the doctor. You know, the CNA and the doctor. The CNA is the one who is cleaning everybody their butt, feeding them, changing them, washing them, doing everything. And this is manual labor, right? And they can work overtime, and they'll be working 12 hours just to make ends meet, and then they won't be having enough time for their family. They won't have enough time to be with their family. So that CNA is working overtime, does using a lot of labor, right? And is not getting paid probably enough to even pay their bills. So they probably even have a second job. The people at the bottom get shit on in this system. So what we do is, because you don't want to be a CNA all the time, you're going to be like, okay, maybe let me become a nurse, or let me become a physician assistant. Let me try to just get ahead of this rat race. Yeah, I'm breathing okay. I mean, I still have a swelling and a blockage, but I'm kind of doing well. I healed very fast, but they only needed to deviate the septum to make it straight. So that's all they needed to do for me. So it wasn't a major surgery. That's why part of the reason it heals quickly, it was because it wasn't like this huge major surgery. So anyway, yeah, the people at the bottom. So what we start doing is, we don't want to be at the bottom, so we start the rat race, right? We start the rat race. And you know, for me, what I experienced in corporate America doing the rat race, I'm just going to give you my honest opinion on what I experienced. I was doing recruiting, and when you're a recruiter in an agency, you're at the very bottom. You're at the very bottom, then there's your manager, and then there's the regional manager, and then the VP of the region, and then they go all the way up to the CEO. But, you know, I used to do everything from calling people, giving them the job, interviewing them, sending them to the employer, and managing their payroll. And if they are late, I have to know, correct them. I kind of like just managing people in general, right? So at one point I was managing like 70 people. Managing 70 people is a lot. And these people, they would not give me an assistant or anybody. So I started getting burned out. Quickly, you start feeling the burnout. And the desks that we were using, they were like this little desk, like very low desks. So I started having, you know, problems with my spine, with my back, and all these things. But even if I was one of the top performers, like the top recruiters in that office, and to be honest, in the whole of the United States, I was doing a very good job. I was top 10 in the company, and the company has offices in almost every state in the United States. So you can imagine, I was giving it all to this company. But when they started looking for managers, and I applied for management, and everybody who interviewed me was like, okay, she's good. She can do the job. She has good attitude. She has a positive energy. You know, she can do the job. I was sure I can do the job, because for me, the way I know about mental health is, if they give you the job, you already have an attitude that I'll do my best, you become good at the job. It's not that hard. You know, the only thing that they need to do is to give you the job, and then you will do the job, and with time you gain experience and become good at the job. But anyway, this company, I wasn't part of a family in that. So here in Orange County, a lot of people get jobs from family members, from people they went to school with. It's always like, even in that company, they used to hire family members, friends. They used to hire people they know. It's just how it goes all over. So even when they are doing promotions, it really didn't matter whether I was good at my job or not. It came down to, they're going to promote their friends, whether you're good at the job or not. They're going to promote their friends and their family members and people that they know. And if you don't have somebody who can help you, up that ladder, you will stay at the bottom so that you can work for them. Obviously, that pissed me off and I left, because I'm like, okay, in this rat race, there are people who are just going to win because they know somebody. There's favoritism. There is some people who get the job because they have to sleep with somebody. And I was like, whatever, fuck it, I'm out. I'll go figure my life out outside of here. I'm going to go figure out my life, because I'm not about to be shit on by people and then waste another maybe 2, 3, 4 years of my life with people who don't give a fuck about me at all. At all. At the very first opportunity, I was 100% sure these are the kind of people who would backstab me, and so people talk about, like, being in a negative work environment where you're overworked, you're not appreciated, stuff like that. You're being micromanaged, and you could go to a job where you're feeling frustrated, like you don't want to get out of bed. It's bad when you don't even want to get out of bed to go to work. That's when your nervous system is really starting to talk to you and tell you that this job is not motivating, this job is draining you. But how long do you have to stay there so that you figure out, survival mode? How long do you have to stay in survival mode to figure out this is not gonna work? What I came to realize, this, when it comes to living in survival mode, how long do you have to stay in survival mode? This question is not about time. This question is not really about like 2 years, 4 years, 3 years. It's what's going to happen to you if you stay. You will start forgetting things. You'll start having, when you 23 years, when you stay there in survival mode long enough, you will have neurological problems. You will have back pains. You'll start having loss of memory. Yeah, because of the cortisol. It's really bad. You'll start having high blood pressure. You'll start getting sick. So for me, it was getting that point where I was having a lot of chest pain. I was getting chest pain, and that is associated with stress. Now you can, if you really know how to manage stress, you can stay in a shitty environment and you can do good. Because I wasn't probably, I have to be honest, I wasn't working out as much as I needed to be working out. And when you're going through stress, you really have to work out. Like, you can't just like let it go. Things cannot just happen. You have to work out to let that stress get out of your body. And when I mean workout, I mean like 3 hours a day. That much. And I didn't even have the time to do it because I was managing 70 people. And 70 people will fuck you up. Okay? I'm trying to get my charger from my bedroom. 70 people will fuck you up because it's 70 people and you don't have an assistant. And then, so my thing, I was willing because, I need a job, living in California, you need a job. So I wanted to keep that job. I wanted to keep that job. I wanted to stay in that job. But, I asked them if I can take a mental health break and for a week, right? Like I was like, okay, I'm too overwhelmed. Let me take a mental health break for a week and then I'll come back. And they refused. They told me, you know what? This company comes first, and even though you don't have a lot of work this week, because most of my employees were school employees, and that time the school was on a break. It was around July, so most kids were on a break. So I knew, like, I don't have a lot of people on my payroll, so they could easily manage the few employees that were working that summer and allow me to go for a week off because I really needed my mental health break. And they told me, no, you still have to put two weeks notice, and the company comes first. And I was like, I come first, fuck you. And I left. And I left. I was like, you're telling me the company comes first? Like, who you telling the company comes first? I come first. My mental health comes first. And fuck you if you ever tell me, that the stupid company comes first. That was my boss. And she, to be honest, that boss, the girl who told me that she was my boss, but she had always been somehow jealous of me. For some reason, she had always been jealous about me. I remember when I really started, like, bringing in a lot of like a lot of employees, and I started thinking about getting a promotion. She told me straight up, I'll never recommend you for a promotion. I thought she was joking, and I forgot about it. And I went on with my life until when I really changed my mind. I decided, oh, let me apply for a management position. And she not only did she not recommend me, she sabotaged me. I think she said stuff, right? She was the kind of person who would want to trigger me. You're asking what I'm talking about? Yeah, so I'm bouncing on this ball. Yeah, so what Eric is saying. I'm an Aries. Yeah, so anyway, she told me that she wouldn't recommend me, and she sabotaged my application. I came to notice she would do this thing. And I noticed, and I heard another girl say that sometimes, I'm not saying all people will do that. Sometimes there are white people who will completely try to do things to stir up emotions with black people. They'll say things to kind of upset you and see your reaction. And she used to do stuff like that. She used to say stuff, stuff that will definitely irritate me, and kind of just to see how things will go. Yeah, there was a lot of narcissistic behavior. See, I wasn't very good at realizing people are narcissists or even thinking about it. Remember, I was so busy that I wasn't really paying attention to all these things. But I used to feel that I don't want to be around her. Like, every time I'm around her, I will feel those little jabs coming my way. And so I started isolating. Like, your body sometimes will do things subconsciously that stuff is happening and your body is reacting automatically, but for you it hasn't clicked. Like, logically it hasn't clicked. So I used to figure out, like, I would come in the morning and I would say, like, I would look for a quiet place and move and not be around them, because I, subconsciously I knew that she was going to say something that was going to be upsetting. But anyway, um, when I started realizing what was happening, it was already too late. It was already too late. So she started dating somebody in the office. She started dating one of the managers in the office. And so she had to be moved out of the office. So when they announced that she was leaving, I was like, okay, we've worked together for, for what, 2 years. Let me go grab her a present and bring her to the office, like a go away present, because I'm that kind of a person. So I go to Laguna, I get some, little nice things that she can put in her next office. And I come and I give it to her and I hug her, and everybody is surprised. Like, other people are surprised that I could hug her and give her all like presents and all this, because people were not expecting that from me. And that's when it clicked. Like, excuse me, why are they not expecting that from me? And this is funny. It's because everybody had witnessed everything happening and none of them were telling me anything. It's like they could witness it. It's kind of like, sometimes you're not looking out, but other people are looking at the situation in the office and they can see it. But none of my co-workers ever came out and reach out to me and tell me that, I think she is consistently bullying you, or she is doing all these things. I thought she was just a mean boss, or probably, maybe that's her management style, that it sucked, and like all that. But she wasn't like that to other people. So this was completely directed at me. I don't know why. I should have reported this. I remember one time we were having an argument. No, it wasn't an argument. I was having back problems, and I went to my doctor, and my doctor told me that I needed to go to physical therapy. And I told my doctor I needed accommodation because I didn't want to go to the office because it was a very negative environment and I was having back problems. So I told my doctor that I needed accommodation to work from home. And it became a big issue with her, like a big issue. You need to be in the office. I'm like, I don't need to be in the office because I need accommodation from ADA, And I remember, like, we were having this argument, and then she called the bigger boss, and they were both agreeing that I should not work from home. I should stay in the office. And I remember that time I had a mental breakdown. Like, I started, what do you call it? Like a panic attack. I had a panic attack because a work environment that is toxic will make you feel like you're being attacked. Like, I was having a mental breakdown, a panic attack. So, for me, my job, I was just a recruiter, okay? I was just a recruiter. I'm not even a cop, I'm not even a cop, or, or a soldier, or, some people who work in a very stressful environment. I was in, it's very hot here, and I have to keep the doors closed because if I open the doors, it's going to, it's going to be even, all the heat is going to come in. Anyway, yeah, I'm not even a chief or anything. I was just a recruiter, and that job was enough for me to start giving me chest pains, and that is associated with stress. I was forgetting things. Like, I would go into a room and I'm like, what the fuck am I here for? What do I want? Like, when you get a senior moment, you go into a room and you can't remember what you wanted. I had so many kind of things like that. I couldn't manage myself. I was managing a lot of people. I didn't have time to manage myself. Anyway, I think that is when I knew that everybody in the office, like, knew things that they were doing to me, and they were silent about it. And me even wanting to get out of the office, go work from home, it was my body just responding to these negative environments. I was like, I'm out of here. I'm out of here. God help me. you know? Uh, oh, you nobody you say you are a chef for 23 years. Wow. I mean, tell us your experience. Was it a stressful job? Did you eventually decide to go out on your own to become an entrepreneur or do something with your life? Did you feel like those were good years, or did you feel like, oh, you kind of wasted those years? You know, we all have our stories. We all You say you are a psychopath. What is going on? What was it? Did that was that job very stressful that it led you to kind of become a psychopath? Some jobs can make you become a really mean person. How did you fix yourself? Oh my goodness, this you need to tell us the juice of this story. Like, what happened? Okay, the job was stressful, and then did you just start like being mean to people around you? People, like people you are working with, just kind of like just being mean. And then you started realizing like, oh my goodness, what kind of a person have I turned to? What kind of a person am I becoming? So you started doing meditation, diet. People don't realize some of these, how these Eastern traditions of spirituality really can help you become more grounded in your spiritual life. Because faith without actions, I believe, is dead completely. That's why you need to do things like meditation, to eat well, to laugh. um, I'm glad you can laugh about it. Faith without actions is dead. You have to meditate, you have to diet, you have to be on a good diet. What diet are you usually on? Exercise is really big. Some of us eat like there's not tomorrow. We eat like somebody is chasing us, that if we don't eat all this food, is like something's going to happen. I'm getting older, and when I started having back problems, that's when I realized, shit's going down. It's going down. Things are going down, man. That's when it really hit me that I gotta take care of my body. I also stay away from, you know, canned foods, preserved foods, all that. I try to stay away from it. Right now, I'm trying to do more exercise, like more working out, because I noticed that my workout routine is not as where it needs to be. And as we get older, we get lazier. And I'm like, I need to start moving like I'm still like a teenager. That's how I want my movement to be. Like, I don't want to be lazy when it comes to moving my body. Just keep moving. Being mindful is the real thing here. Being super mindful. A lot of people are not taking care of themselves, and then things go wrong, as they naturally will, because life, karma gives you. You do 14,000 steps a day, man. You must be in good shape. And you do weights 3 times a week, man. You must be in real good shape. Exercise, people don't realize how much exercise they need to do to just keep the body healthy. A lot of people don't realize, like, it's a lot. It's a lot. Think about 3 hours a day for 5 times a week, to just keep your body out of stress. Especially if you're in survival mode, if you have a stressful job, yeah. So let's go back to, how long do you stay in a survival, in survival mode? how long is long enough? And that's when I was saying, you know, your body will tell you. You're going to start having pains, or back pains, neck pains. For people who like sit in the office, they'll start getting like their legs will start getting like you stayed in survival for 23 years. You must have neurological problems at that point. You must have, even little muscle tics like that. Yeah, that must affect you completely, and that's really a waste. That's a really, it's a waste. And I think one of the things that we regret most is the time that we have lost, the time that we lose and we cannot get back. Oh goodness, you have carpal tunnel on both hands. You see, there has to be a neurological thing that happens once you get into that mode of, I don't know, for some reason, for me, I got arthritis and I'm not even 40, like my neck, like this calcification on my neck. I'm not even 40, and that is, when you're in constant survival mode and your body is tensing like this, and I think that's what happened. My body always tensing, always like with the wrong motion when I'm on the computer, on the phone. I think you injure yourself. It's an injury. And so I injured myself, and now I have arthritis, and I have to do these massages. I bought a massager to try to get the calcium out of my neck, in the muscle. So you see, like, you got carpal tunnel in both hands, and you've been you've been reborn into a phoenix. Try Barbara O'Neill. Oh goodness. Yeah, so whenever you see me do things like this, like go like this, and you see me do a lot. Oh, she may have a remedy. I'll try. I'll look her up. Yeah. Can castor oil help me? I have some castor oil here at home. Does castor oil help? I'll try it. Yes. Because I think arthritis is when this calcium start dropping into your muscles. And that's what I have. The bones started to harden. Yeah, I'm using, my doctor told me to do that in the morning, to put heat pads. And then she's, in 2 weeks time, I'll start physical therapy. So I think I'll be fine when I start physical therapy. It should be fine. Yeah. But yeah, I do massages every morning, every evening, and then I have to put a warm towel like this. But I can really feel it. Can you imagine the bone releasing calcium into your neck muscles to the point where you can feel it? Because I must have injured it, and then, so one of the reasons why it's injured is because my neck, this cervical neck should be like a C shape. This neck should be like a C shape, and mine is straightening because of the tightness of the muscles. So it's straightening, and when it straightens, that's an injury, because this neck should be a C shape. It should be like a C shape instead of being straight. So the straightening is also an injury on its own. It's called the straining of the cervical lordosis. is also like not good. Whoa, things. Oh, Reiki, yeah. Trust me, if I had the money, I would I'll do massages every day. If I could, I'd do massages every day for my neck, for my back. I've never experienced something like that, back pain. And back pain, like going swimming. Swimming is really good for the back, because when you're in the water, you're free from gravity, and when you're free from gravity, your spine can just rest. And if you swim, you can also strengthen your muscles. That way your spine is very well supported. Swimming is great. Yeah, support the core. Yeah, and then at least you don't have to use the back muscles too much when your core is strong. Man. Anyway, terrible work environments can put you in survival mode. And I think it's high time we start telling each other the truth. You know, that a lot of people figure out, this is not gonna work for me. And they start planning their exit. They don't wait for life to push them to the very edge so that they can walk away. Some people, they plan, the moment you get your first job, I think it's good to start planning your finances in a way that you can allow yourself to start something else, in your life. You have a second career, or start a business, so that you can have time, so that you can ride a bike on a Wednesday afternoon, get some sun. How many times I was in a cubicle and I'm thinking, it looks so nice outside. I just love to go outside and get some sun. And you're like, I'm a free human being. Why can I just not get out of this building and go get some fucking sun and then come back? I'm not allowed to do that by somebody because they're paying me. And you're like, what the fuck? Some of this is confronting. Our system, the way it's set up, it can be very confronting sometimes. That's why I'm like, do I really want to have children and then put them through this system? Because for me, I didn't find a lot of joy going through the system. It's kind of like one institution, and then after that, another one, and then another one, another one. I grew up in an orphanage. That was an institution. Then I went to high school, and it was boarding school. That was an institution. Most women my age, when they get out of high school, they get married. That's another institution. Then they start work, another institution. Like, a human being these days is just one institutionalized unit. Like, what the hell? What the hell? How are we going to create like a better future for ourselves where we can actually be happy? It's confronting when you think about the fact that we have one life. That's it. We don't get to come back. We don't get to come back and have take two. No, you look back and you're like, your 20s are gone and they're really gone. Then your 30s are gone, they're gone. Your 40s gone, your 50s gone. And maybe when you're 60, you're like, what the heck have I done with over half my life? They are controlling us. We are in a matrix. And I hate to be political because a lot of people don't like politics, but I'm like, at this time, you can't afford not to be political. If you really want to know your life situation, you must master your environment. If you're not aware of your environment, it's not going to be easy to master it. And a lot of us, we get sucked into the matrix, sorry to say, because we have parents who are in survival mode, and they're like, oh, just go to school, spend half of your adult life, of your young adult life in school, so that you can hustle for a job, a good job. And you do that and you figure out there are no good jobs. Fuck, I'm fucked, right? But by the time you figure out that, you have a mortgage, you have kids, your in the matrix, and that you're in deep in survival mode. There is nowhere to get out. That's the situation we find ourselves in. I mean, younger people who are younger than me, maybe before you get kids, figure out how to get yourself out of the matrix. You know, because a lot of people, they are giving birth to children in poverty, and then they end up, you know, like everybody has to start from zero. You know, look for money to house yourself. You know, if I had parents, I would stay with my parents until I figure out my life. I'm not kidding. If I had parents, I would live in their garage until I've saved enough money to do things. I would not go out on my own, go to college, you know, stuff like that. No, I would not do it. I would not do it. I would figure out my business and start a business that's mine, that allows me to go ride a bike on a Wednesday afternoon. You know, figure that one first, and then I'd be like, okay, let me get out of the nest. Let me get out of the nest. You know, getting a job, they will exploit your energy. And you might think that it's not a pyramid like this, but it is a pyramid. Look at it. The way I see it. When I went to America, because I went to an American university to study my MBA. And in the MBA, we learned the bottom line. They teach us about the bottom line. So if you think about it, a company has to make profit. And they make profit for the shareholder. So at the end of the day, they want to impress the shareholder by telling them, all this money that you gave me to do business, I did business, and this is what we now have as profit. The profit is the bottom line. And that is when the shareholders say, good job, I can invest more money in you. So everybody is trying to make money for the shareholder. As an employee, you're an expense. You're an expense, and we need to put your expenses low so that we can have a return for the shareholder, so that we can have a big bottom line, because what matters is the bottom line. It's not you, the employee, or your mental health, or whatever you think that you're important. No, you're here for labor, and you're an expense that is going to be expensed into the balance sheet. And that's the bottom line. That's the bottom line. So if you think that they will have the interest of the employer and your interest, they are opposing. At any given point, they are opposing. You want more money for your labor and your time, but your employer wants less money for your time so that they can make the big bottom line and impress the shareholder. So there's always going to be that conflict. You want promotion, they are like, if I give you a promotion, we are going to squeeze the bottom line. No, let's put you there. Let's keep you there so that we can keep this fat bottom line. Because imagine how are you going to explain to the shareholder, last year I made you 2 million in profit, but my employees, they were crying and they needed more money, so this year you're going to get only 500,000. No, the shareholder is going to be like, no, I'll take my money somewhere else. And you're like, okay, don't panic, Joe, you're not gonna get a promotion, no more bonuses. If you don't like the job, I'll find somebody else who's cheaper, okay? But I've been here and I've given you all the work for 10 years, 23 years of my blood and sweat. Well, that was yesterday and I paid you for it. Okay? It's called the economy. That's the environment that we live in. It's the way that things are. There's so many people who are in survival mode. They will replace your job anytime you're not able to do it. You know, in this economy, you really must believe in yourself and your talents. You know, but at the end of the day, they're hiring you because you have a brain and because you have an able body, and you're consistent and dependable, and you're on time. You can be those things to your own business. You can do those things to your own business. You can show up, you can be consistent, you can be on time in your own business, and you can make a profit for yourself. So, and you will not fire yourself, and you don't have to kiss somebody's ass because of that. I mean, we are always answering to somebody. We are always answering to our customers, our clients. There is no forever like just being your own boss. You always have to answer to somebody. But, nobody's like, that's why I don't give a fuck. Yeah. It's time you live with audaciousness, with audacity. Become audacious, become brazen, because once you realize, like, nobody's coming here to save us. No one's coming here to save us. We have to help ourselves. People don't even realize how terrible it's going to be when almost every aspect of the economy is going to be controlled by the few oligarchs. If they control the seed, it means they control food production. And they can decide when we feed and when we don't feed, when our farmers get to plant and when our farmers get to not have seeds. And they can decide which country gets to starve and which country gets to eat. And that's a lot of power to give to somebody. And the reason why we should start our own businesses is so that we can buy land and control our own food. That's a sign of intelligence. However many jobs you quit, that shows that you have common sense here. You're not sheep, like somebody just waiting to be dragged around. Do this, be this, do this. I command you, do that. The system wants robots. The system doesn't want people who think. You think Trump is trying to destroy education? For what? Because they don't think that and I saw it on the Project 2025. Imagine this was on Project 2025. Go grab that book and read for yourself. The Project 2025 says, people don't need to think. Like think tanks can think for us. That was in Project 2025. They said think tanks, they can think for us. We do not need to think. We just need to act like robots. To be told to be here, to do this and do that. And so that there is always a command from the top. When you're told to sneeze, you sneeze. When you're told to jump, you ask how high. That's the system that they want to bring on this planet. And trust me, they'll bring that stupid system. It's taking root. But nobody wants to talk about it. Nobody wants to see that. Hi Yash, nice to see you again. It's been a long time. Are you still having your channel? So yeah, anyway, it's just going to be like this for a long time. And the more entrenched the systems of the world become, the more freedom people are going to lose. And oh goodness, a lot of people think all these are conspiracy theories. 1K complete. Woo! Good job. 1K subscribers. How many hours have you gone? How many watch time hours? Yes, you can put the name of your channel here, and you might get subscribers. It's, and I like people like Yash, because you're trying, you're having your own channel, you're going to start making good money, And even if it's 1,500 or 1,000, that's good money. That's good money. At least you're like, you don't have to rely on going to sell your soul and time. Oh, wow, 3,600 hours already. Wow, that's awesome. You're making money. I haven't even monetized my channel. You're welcome. So in YouTube, you have to have at least 1,000 subscribers and 3,000 hours. Watch time hours. Watch time hours is really hard to get. It's not easy because every year it goes back. It goes back. So if you see somebody who's got like 3,600 hours, let me tell you, they are working their butt off. You will see a lot of people telling you okay, so let's talk about YouTube. You'll see a lot of people out there telling you, oh, quit your job and start a YouTube channel. Don't quit your job to start a YouTube channel. Don't quit your job to start a YouTube channel. They're lying to you. It takes a lot to get monetized, and then YouTube has all these rules. I'm not saying that your channel cannot get monetized. Yeah, every year it goes back, and then you have to keep your hours. So I'm like, no, if you like, for me, because yeah, after you monetize, that's fine. But before you monetize, before you get those hours, you still have to do it within a year to get like all those hours within a year, like 3,000 hours, because I noticed my hours, my channel is not monetized. So before my channel gets monetized, every year, you will see, like, let's say I'm in January, you'll see like some hours go down. They'll go down just because maybe of the time lapse. Yeah. But I think once it's monetized, it's monetized. And once it's monetized and they don't demonetize it, because they'll also look for copyright. They'll look for copyright. Let's say you use music that's not yours, or you use clips from YouTubers that don't want their content to be reused. You'll get nicked by YouTube. Yeah. Yup. So don't quit your job to start a YouTube channel. Have a plan. Have a plan of quitting your job. Like, even if you're doing your job and your business at the same time, and then once your business starts speaking, a lot of people do that. They have a job and they have their business, and they work them together, and then they just drop one and they continue with the other one. So somebody like me, I was like, I had saved some money. Even if the best thing would have been to stay with my job and do it, my job was too stressful. I was just kind of like, fuck it, I'll just figure my life as I go. Obviously, if I had even a little bit of support from my job, just a little bit more support, I would have been like, okay, let me stay with this job and not struggle going out on my own and doing my own thing. But I was so burned out. I was even too burned out to get another job, and I haven't even looked for a job, to be honest, after. So you see, I wouldn't advise you the way that people are saying on YouTube, oh, they don't like you at work, it's political, let's just quit our jobs. No, remember, how you go to the top is how you stay at the top. How you get to the top is how you stay at the top. So as much as I want you to be stress-free, it'll also stress you if you don't have money to pay your bills. Bills don't go nowhere. And maybe you've reached a certain kind of a lifestyle and you don't want to go back in your lifestyle, because most of us, making adjustments, especially for women, it's not easy. If I'm not able to get my business going, I'd have to give up my apartment. That's not something I want to look forward to, but or maybe get a roommate, or something like that. Those are things that are real, that you have to make adjustments to. So what do? You plan. Instead of just jumping off the ship, you can plan. You can navigate. Yes, I should come to India, and you would give me ice cream? You have a small ice cream shop. Oh my goodness, that's so exciting. I would love. I would love. I know. You're talking about ice cream, and I'm thinking maybe I need to get some ice cream. Actually, have some ice cream. Not some really good ice cream, but my friend did this. My friend moved, and so he got to an apartment where he didn't have a fridge, so he's waiting to get a fridge. So he brought some of his items and put them in my fridge, and there's ice cream. Now that you're saying, I might eat his ice cream because it's a hot day anyway. Do you guys have the sorbet? Do you have sorbet? I don't know. How can you explain sorbet? Like ice cream sorbet. I don't think it has milk in it. I think it's just is I think it's just kind of like, I don't have it here, but I'll get some ice cream now that Yash you mentioned ice cream. I'll get this gelato. It's vanilla. Josh will kill me, be like, "You ate my ice cream." I'm like, "It was hot. I had to eat something." The best ice cream is definitely the one that you're stealing from somebody. You kill me. Ooh, this one would look good. Okay, that should be enough. Look at that. We have one more scoop. It's so fulfilling to have your own life, to have your own business, have your own life, your time. To have control over your time is the biggest thing. You can't, some things you can't buy. Chocolate vanilla. It's so good. It's such a hard day. This ice cream has been there for like, how many weeks now? Like 2 weeks now. Oh, it's good. Chocolate, vanilla. I'll say I didn't do it. It wasn't me. When you brought it, it was already halfway. Oh wow. He bought the really good flavor ones. It's the ice cream monster that took his ice cream. Oh, it's so good. Yash, you're the one who suggested this. I'll blame you. I'll say it was Yash. You're the one who reminded me of ice cream. Today, it's such a hot day. It's starting to get hot. What does Rathi mean? Oh, wow. It's melting. That's how hot this place is. Josh's ice cream. Oh my goodness. Just one scoop. You know, I'm helping him. That's weight he won't gain. That was so good. Ram Ramji. It's so long since I've had ice cream. Let me see. I'm on a dating site. Let me see what's here. Alik is a doctor, recently moved, looking for a genuine soul to connect. He doesn't have kids. He's a Christian. He's a graduate. He likes kindness, openness. And he's cute. He's cute. He's Indian. I think he's Indian. Oh, I definitely will like his profile. Yeah, I think he's cute. Why you say that's a red flag? That's not a red flag. He lives in LA. He's close. He has a beautiful smile. Like really cute. Look at that smile. I like him. I'll say hi. Hello, you have a beautiful smile. Wait, he's clean cut. He has a beautiful smile. He's a Christian. He's a doctor. I mean, what does he need to do for me to just say he's okay? You can send me your photos at wiredhappiness@gmail.com. You can email me at wiredhappiness@gmail.com. Wiredhappiness@gmail.com. I'd like to go on a date with Yash, but he's like a billion miles away. Oh my goodness. And Alik just said hi. Alik just responded. And he said, I have beautiful eyes and a beautiful smile too. Oh, wow. We are two beautiful people. It's a green flag. The thing is, I am not very flat. The reason I am I am still single, to be honest, I'm not very what do you call it? I lack flirtatiousness. I don't know how to flirt. So I think I'm done with this conversation because I don't know how to take this conversation. It's because I'm kind of a serious person. That neck again. I'm kind of, I think I'm loyal. I've never cheated on anybody in my relationship because if I don't like the relationship, I can just end it. Like there is no need for me to cheat when I can easily walk out of a relationship. If you want to, my Instagram is the same as my YouTube channel, Post Traumatic Bliss. What do you mean? That your missus would beat you into that? Oh, if you cheated, you would be you would be teleported into a new reality. I don't think there is I don't think there's a point in cheating. Like if you don't want it, if you're not into the relationship, just end it. You know? You don't have to stay there unless you're married and then you have to work things out. I'm more of I come from a group of people like who are like my culture is not very romantic. I come from the Kikuyu of people of Kenya. They are not romantic at all. At all. No. But this is the nice thing about it. They take duty very seriously. They are very realistic and they take duty very seriously. So they don't tell you all the romantic nonsense like I'll give you the moon and the stars and the clouds and the whatever. They don't. But everything will be practical. Everything will be practical. Like we are starting a home, we need to buy land, we need to build a house, we need to have children, they need to have this and that and that. So they're very practical with planning, which for me is way better. As I get older, I'm like, as much as I like to be flattered and to be told nice things, I also want things that are realistic, and I think that's what I like most about our culture. We don't have sweet nothings. You might not get sweet nothings, but you're going to get the real things. You're going to get the man who will buy you a piece of land, build you a house, even if it's not the biggest house or the finest things, right? You still get, somebody who values those things, a nice house, a home, kids, like the little things in life that really matter. See, that is sweetness at another level. And I value that, but I don't know how to flirt. I'm not very romantic. I'm not going to be there like, oh my goodness, what do I have to say next? Stuff like that. No. But I'm practical. I'll do the things necessary that need to be done. so so that's the culture I come from. Yes. Self-love is not, yeah, is not a joke. You have to love yourself. You have to love yourself. You have to choose yourself, a lot of times. Um, it's As a woman, you can get taken advantage of so easily, so quickly, if you don't love yourself, if you don't know your worth, if you don't know, like, I think, like, if a woman is not peaceful in herself and she's not well rested in her own nervous system, she can go for the shiny things, that don't make sense, but they are shiny. And when you're more grounded and you know yourself, you're not easily swayed by material things, by shiny things. You can take time to evaluate things and figure out the things that make sense in your life, right? So hey, Alik is still chatting with me. So anyway, today I went to Laguna. I'm working. I told you guys I'm working on my online class. I'm going to start giving lessons on my online class, and I'm on the last topic, and which is work and money. And I don't like giving fluffy advice for people, right? I don't like to give people fluff. Like, I don't want to tell somebody, oh, quit your job and start a YouTube channel. That's kind of like fluff advice. You don't tell people that. But also, you want to tell people that, hey, it's better you try to do your own thing, become an entrepreneur before you get into a situation where you're being disappointed by people and situations. Um, and I'm still working on that class, but it's the last class that I'll be working on. It will be lesson 9, and I have 10 videos in that online class. I have 10 videos, and this one will be the last one. I mean, in the whole program, I'm showing people how the mind works, like the neuroscience, how we create programs, how we can erase programs, what stress does to the body, the science of addiction. I'm showing them about things like love relationship, how we form attachments, why some people are able to find love easily and why others like us who've been through childhood trauma find it harder. um, I didn't say quantum physics. I don't think I touched on a lot of quantum physics. um yeah, I didn't touch, but the last one that I'm going to do, I touched about behavior change and how we can use behavior to change our life. Yeah, the subconscious mind, reprogramming the subconscious mind, that's like a lot about this online class that I'm going to start offering. And yeah, it's really come on great. Bye, Yash. We loved to see you. Make sure you come and say hi next time. We are going to come. We are going to come to India one time. We are going to come and get all that ice cream. Don't worry, we'll come. But I know it's probably late for you. You're probably going to bed. Have a good night. Love you. Sleep tight. Yeah, it has so this is Alik. He's saying, nice. I'm looking to meet a nice woman. We share quality time, share our thoughts and experiences. If things looking great, then love to go for long-term relationship. Sounds practical. I'll tell him I'm looking to meet someone to start out as friends too. And tell him I like that you're a Christian, because I like Christians. Sharing the same faith is important in a relationship. Yeah. You know, let me see his profile. He says he drinks sometimes, he doesn't smoke. I don't like that he's apolitical. I don't get people who are apolitical. In America, if you're a person of color, you should always vote left. This is not a joke. Like, the right is completely racist, and you can't, like, if the right is racist, they give you no other choice than to be on the left. You know, it's like I'm like no, I noticed, like, I have a goal to be in a relationship because of all the things that I have studied about mental health. Being lonely and living by yourself is not healthy. And I have lived with myself for a long time now. And honestly, I think some of these problems that I might be having, like arthritis, could be because, you know, you go through life by yourself. It can be sometimes stressful. I mean, I like, okay, I might be lying a little. I like my quietness. I do like being alone and not having to worry about other people. What am I talking about? What am I saying? You know, there are times that I come home and I'm tired and it's quiet and I'm like, I'm so glad to be home and I can sleep, I can do shit. But I've studied mental health and I know logically that I should have more relationships than I have right now. It will benefit me. if, if I get into a relationship, that's why I feel the urgency to get into a relationship, a healthy relationship. Oh my goodness. Ooh, I didn't notice this other guy. He had tattoos. Like, and they're not beautiful tattoos. I liked his profile, but I didn't look at those tattoos very well. I'm like, oh my goodness. I don't like those tattoos. Okay, so this is Alik. He's saying, I'm also looking for a nice, open-minded, easygoing woman. We sometimes go on travel, enjoy life, fun together. She also likes to have her own time, goes out with her friends, enjoy. It's important to have your own time sometimes, especially in relationships. When she is busy or out, I sometimes cook for her. She teases me how she enjoyed and had fun when she comes home. I love to be teased sometimes. What are you talking about? Just an easygoing, lovable, romantic relationship. I mean, I guess there are people. Red flag. I like how you are quickly able to see red flags. Not a pure Christian. I always find it hard when I don't know how sexually deprived men are, because you start like, yeah, like you start having a conversation. This is practically like, you guys, he just liked me. It's not even like 5 minutes ago, right? It's not 5 minutes ago, and he's talking about now his needs and what he wants, and I'm like, you haven't even taken time to figure out what kind of a woman I am, what I do, what I like, and you're already telling me the kind of a woman that you like, and I'm already starting to feel like I am not that woman. You like that she is like this and this and this and this and that, and I'm like, I don't know if I'm that woman, you know? I mean, I have my own life, but I'm like, I just, I don't know. I don't know. What does he mean? Did I get, did I misread this conversation? Like, you guys tell me, like, what do you understand from this? Like, is there something that I am missing? Okay, I'm like, okay, you also like a nice, open, easygoing woman. Who doesn't like that? Everybody wants an open-minded, easygoing woman. Or what does he mean? Is there something I'm missing about nice, easygoing woman? Because I'm thinking, who wants a stuck-up somebody who is frigid? Like, who wants that? Okay, we sometimes go on travel, enjoy life, fun together. That's nice. Who doesn't want to go out and travel? You're in a relationship with somebody. Don't you want to travel sometimes? Get out of town, drive somewhere and see the sun or the water, you know? Um, I go, I don't really go out at night with friends. Like I don't drink, so I don't go out drinking. Um, so if somebody goes out with and friends enjoy, uh, I mean, I have my own time. I do other things in my relationship. I just don't go out to drink. I got my own life. I just don't go out to drink. Um, okay. It's okay to like to be teased. I get it's nice to love being teased and all that. Uh, and have a lovable romantic relationship. That's, I get that, but I don't drink. Yeah. Yeah, I'm into mindfulness and stuff like things that I like to do. I like to help people with mental health. I don't drink because as a mental health advocate, I know how bad alcohol is for the brain. It's not my thing. It's not my thing, you know? And then with relationships, is either you are into somebody or you're not. And then, you know, you can't force attraction, Like I can't force attraction. It's either there or not. There is nothing you can do if somebody doesn't find you attractive. And people, I noticed, like, people just have a type. It's not that you're not beautiful or you're not good looking. It's just that people just like people people their beauty lies in the eyes of the beholder. The whoever's looking is the one who will tell us whether they find something beautiful or not. So especially with romantic relationship, it's just kind of like you can't force. Don't don't this is something I learned. It's like I'll be living my life to the fullest, and really, that's that's the best way to go about life. Live yours to the fullest. I've, honestly, we probably will never go out on a date. uh, I don't know. Okay, so I'm on this dating app and I've gone on a few dates. 90% of the people I I swipe left, and the few that go end up like I swiped right, eventually they'll say something that I don't like, or I'll look at their profile one more time and be like left, 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 left. You know, I'm looking for one person. I'm looking for just one person that can be my friend. We can do things. We can, you know, be practical together, because for me, I don't like all these sweet nothings that I don't have eye drops. I think my eyes been bugging me, right? Because I have been doing things with my eye. Anyway, such a day. I'm excited. I'm so excited about that online class. You know how long it took me to write that class? It took me a long time to write all those videos, to write all those classes, then record them, then edit them. Oh my goodness. And some, yeah, it will be an online mental class on post-traumatic bliss. Kind of, yeah, how to, this is for anybody. Like I've taken a lot of subjects on mental health, because mental health is tied to one after the other. Because if you think about it, you start off with a shitty childhood, and then, because like let's say for a girl, you start off with a bad childhood. Maybe your parents beat you, or they are too, you know, they are just not good parents. So you try to escape that environment, and probably you end up with in a bad situation, like with an abusive partner, just like your father. You kind of like move from one mess to another. Mental health is like that. And then maybe you start drinking alcohol to escape the misery. Now you get into drugs. You know, mental health just moves. You can move from worse to worse to worse to worse. Or you could be lucky, you know, go to school, get a job, but you still take on drugs, right? And they'll mess you a good, you know, like once you get into drugs, they'll do a good job on you, you know, because drugs come with territories like sexual promiscuity. They come with maybe going to jail, with fighting, with stealing, with, you know, all these kind of like pot of mess, right? Mental health mess, right? And when we are able to see things, we can overcome them. But when we are not able to see them, we get lost in the mess. And so this class is to show people, hey, you started from a bad environment, and a bad environment creates a negative mind that keeps drawing all these chaos. And now you have to undo this chaos by creating a positive environment, so that you can create a positive mindset, and then you can start making better choices. But you know, I have a lot of information. Let's say like the science of addiction. I show them how, what drugs do to keep you in survival mode, and how you can start self-binding and distancing yourself and weaken those neural connections. So I'm passionate about mental health. I'm so passionate. um, so maybe I'll create this class I haven't written. The last class I haven't written, it's about money. It's about money and work, kind of telling people, you know, what you do for money determines your mental health, right? Are there things that you cannot do for money? It's a good question, because if you say that there is nothing you wouldn't do for money, that tells me it's a red flag. It's a red flag right there, right? And money, so money can tell us where you are in your enlightenment journey, what you do for a living, you know. all the way from, you know, some people steal for money. They steal stuff from people, or they beat up people and get their stuff for money. Like those are people who are at very low spiritually, they are very low, and their mental health is very low. Then there are people who work for money, right? And then there are people who start businesses for money. Then there are people who even invest money. So because when you're investing money, it already means that you have enough to take care of yourself and to give other people, and now you're even investing. So it's very different playgrounds that everybody is playing on, and you kind of have to see where you are at, but also how is that affecting your mental health. You know, like when we say like negative work environments, you know, do you go to a place to work every day where you feel like you want to die? So anyway, I'm working on this class. It will be the last one. Wait, you recently found out that 1 carat of premium sapphire is $10,000? Where can we get this? Where can we get this one and sell? You, what do you mean you forsake? What does that mean? I don't know the meaning of this word. My neck again. Oh wow, you're going after rubies and sapphires. I was looking for an Ethiopian. I like opals. I'm looking for an Ethiopian opal, but I went here and they were selling them for, there's a shop here and they were selling them for like a very small stone for like $300. It means, oh, to mine. Okay. You mine. Wow. What do you Okay, so I had so Shy, I don't know if you met Shy. She's right now she's in Japan. She left me a ring that was an Ethiopian opal, and I kind of liked it. And I thought maybe I could look for earrings that have the Ethiopian opal so that I can match it. And I went and I saw some earrings, but they were $300. I was like, I'm not buying it for $300. I'm like, no. How much would you sell it? I could buy from you. opalized petrified wood. Yeah, I don't know. I don't. You're good with your jewelry. You see, I don't wear a lot of jewelry. I'm not very, to be honest. Look, I could wear earrings, but I don't. I don't wear jewelry just because I wear it for some time and I want to take it off because I don't like things dangling and hanging in my body. Don't tell Shy yet because I don't know where I put the ring she gave me. I'm looking for it. I think I had it. I thought I put it on my bed or my kitchen. I'm still looking for it. Cute small pieces. Okay. You go to the clubhouse. Man, it's so hot. My legs are getting swollen. Sapphires. Let me look. Let me look at them. I'm not very big on jewelry, but let me look at sapphires. Oh wow, they're beautiful. What kind do you like? What colors? Oh wait, what am I looking at? They're blue. They're beautiful. Ooh, these Australian sapphires are beautiful. These ones are cute. Let me see. You said you like the petrified wood. Yeah, that's cute. That's really beautiful. Oh, like that. Super cute. Mm, that's, yes, that's That's good. The Labrador, yup. Oh wow. Some of them are kind of like, that's kind of like 500. This goes for 900. Yeah, when they make it on a pattern like a wood, like a table, it's so beautiful. That's really gorgeous. I wonder if they can do it with a door. Can you imagine a Labrador door? Right? A door. Imagine, or a gate. A door or a gate. It's an Yeah, it's a nice talking piece. Like, what the hell? It's just right there. Mm-hmm. Ah. Today I was trying out makeup. It came a little ashy, but it wasn't all that bad. But it came out nice. You know, it's a little ashy, but I do like the red lipstick. Yeah, front gate right there. Boom. I was trying to contour, like to do the whole contouring of makeup, and then it came out a little ash. Just like, you see my chest, how my chest and my face don't look the same, but it came out good. I was practicing contouring, like doing contour makeup. I think I put too much powder, or I didn't blend it enough, but it wasn't that bad. I like the eyes. The eyes came out well, and the lips came out well. No, there's no filter. I didn't put any filter on the photo. It's just makeup. I know makeup can really change you because it's all the contouring that they do. Like, I just want to learn how to do it. Like, I just want to learn how to do good makeup in case I'm going somewhere, or I shoot videos. Like my videos when I'm creating classes, I shoot videos. And so with videos, you have to put on makeup. Yeah, I'm not as what I always told myself for my own mental health is that I don't want to be that girl who has to always have makeup to be online. I want people to see how I look like, and when I have makeup, they see how I look like. I don't want people to assume I wear makeup every day. You know, there are girls who cannot live without makeup, and I don't know. You see, like somebody like Pamela Anderson, she wore makeup throughout her young adult life, and now she's older and she doesn't want to wear makeup. But everybody will look at her photos when she was younger and her photos now, and they'll be like before and then, and they are shocked. But it's because she was wearing makeup when she was younger, and now she's an adult. She doesn't have any photos that look like her at all. if you if you get makeup that is okay, like so like MAC, I used to wear MAC, and for MAC their makeup clogs the pores, you know. So those, it used to give me a lot of acne, and I used to always have like these dark spots because there's always, you know, it clogs the pores. Then I went to this woman and I told her I was having problems with my face, and she told me it was my makeup, and she told me to wear Bare Minerals, because Bare Minerals, they use very natural makeup. So that makeup, I wear Bare Minerals, and you see how good my skin is. I don't have problems with my skin. Because Bare Minerals is very natural. It's just natural makeup. I also discovered Bobbi Brown. The makeup by Bobbi Brown is really good. Um, even the serums that they have from the Bobbi Brown, those serums are good for the skin. So I think I might switch my makeup brand to Bobbi Brown, but I can still, you know, still come up with like buy Bare Minerals, but I never buy MAC for foundation, for, you know, stuff. Like I don't buy, if I buy MAC, it'll be lipstick, but I don't buy for anything, you know, to put on my face. They messed up my face. Right now I'm not having makeup. I came home like no cheap shit, no cheap shit, man. Anyways, I have this house to clean. I gotta go clean. Me too. I better go work, clean this house. and probably sleep a little bit because I'm feeling a little bit tired. I think it's the heat. I get like this in the summer. I start squinting. Bye, bye, Nabari. Bye, love. Take care. You make my day too, love. You do make my day. Kisses. Have a good day. Talk to you tomorrow.